Hey kids, it's me, Kimchi. And if you don't have a happy Halloween, I'm gonna send Kamala after you. Ha 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 ha! Happy Halloween!
This is Lois Brain here, and I'm advising you to do yourself a favor and watch the Alliance Guys podcast.
Hey guys, check this out. I am officially now sponsored by Dubby. Dubby is a clean energy drink made to give you focus with no crash. If you guys are like me, you're always needing a burst of energy, especially with one with no crash. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, a nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. It keeps me awake with no jitters, guys. Check it out. Merch link is in the bio. Dubby. What's up, guys? It's Tuesday, and you know what that means. It's the pre-party with your boy J-Cal. And it's Tuesday, which means you're supposed to eat tacos or some nonsense. And it's Halloween, so like trick or treat or something, right? Anyways, hey guys, thanks for tuning in to the pre-party, a presentation of Alliance-Wrestling.com, your number one source for news and information for the National Wrestling Alliance. My name is Jay Count. Each and every Tuesday, I come to you, that hashtag NWA fam, to talk all things NWA. And here we are again on this very fabulous Tuesday. And I want to know what you're thinking. Tell me what's on your mind. I want to know what you're thinking. I don't know. I think that's a song lyric or something. But this is the pre-party. I've got some friends in the chat already. We got Mike. We got Shrek. We got Steve G. We've got, I guess that's it so far. Sound off when you're in the chat. Let me know that you're here. Saw win was a effing win, according to Mike. I don't know, man. I don't know if I agree with you. Mike says, I didn't regret my purchase at all. Steve G says, hello, everyone. Shrek, I think, liked my kimchi Halloween costume. Mike says, looks like kimchi, sounded like Santa. That's a story of my life. Get that dub with the dubby. You get the dubby, you get the chubby. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what I'm saying. I think I was there. I know I was in MW. Steve, what's MW? Yeah. We did a what's on my screen scared me. Sorry, Mike. We did a live chat during the pay-per-view. Now, this is the first time we tried doing that, and that's in our Discord form. You want to join the Discord because that's where you can interact with all of us like-minded. Did my camera literally die already? That's problematic. All right. Well, that's why we have more than one battery, right, guys? Are you with me? Jeez. Why is this Tuesday such a Tuesday? Hey, there we go. Yeah, we did a live chat during the pay-per-view, which I thought was pretty cool because, number one, I got to hear some of your guys' voices who I've known for a few years now and I've never actually met. I've known Doty, initial Doty. I've known Doty for like 15 years. And last night, or I guess Saturday night, was the first time I've ever heard him speak. So that's kind of cool. If you guys aren't in the Discord chat now, make sure you join. Hit that link in the description. And if the link isn't working, just message me on any social media account. I'll be happy to give you a link to get to that Discord. I think it also might be, it does expire every few days. So let me know. I can't read that on the air, Mike. You don't want to know what's on my mind. Do you play on the song? Yeah. It's good. It's good. Hey, Shrek, when you're here, Shrek, you're literally joining us on TikTok and on the YouTube channel. You're part of the group now. If you want to jump on that Discord, I highly recommend it. That's where us like-minded wrestling fans go to. We talk New Japan, we talk AEW, but we are an NWA themed channel, so we're definitely going to talk about that. Sean Mega, that's my guy. That's another guy I've known for years who I've never heard his voice. Lamb, we haven't changed our clocks yet. We changed them, I think, next weekend. I think. And the great he says here, what's up? He's Memphis wrestling. Got it. Yeah, no, we did a live stream during the I keep saying live stream. We did a live chat in our Discord during the pay-per-view. So something we might be doing more and more. Maybe even during episodes of Power. It was a lot of fun. I wasn't able to stick around for all of it. In fact, I had to bail kind of early, but I left the chat open, and apparently a lot of people enjoyed it. So it's like fighting Roman Reigns. Come prepared. Yeah, Tuesdays. See, the thing is, guys, I don't blame the day. I blame myself. At the end of the day, it's your boy Jay who is a numbnut sometimes and doesn't figure things out ahead of time. I thought I had put the battery in that was fresh. Apparently, it was not the fresh battery. But it's okay because this one is completely fresh, and then I have another one on the charger down here. So we're good. We could talk wrestling for at least the hour. The Alliance Blog. I sounded like the guy to go to your front door if you owe Uncle Joey money. See, that's the thing, man. I don't owe Uncle Joey any money. I don't do those kind of bets. But yeah, you kind of did. You sound kind of like a mobster there, Mike. What are your crimes, Mike? I'm just kidding. Let's see. Our pal Jeremy. Hello, Alliance fam, and welcome to the pre-party with J Cow. Don't forget that thumbs up to like, share with your friends, and hit that subscribe button if you feel so inclined. I'll be joining. This is going to be a weird week for me because I'll be on the live streams 3 times this week. I'm going to be joining Jeremy and Dave Scooby as Mr. Timmy Thunder's got some other obligations that won't be able to make it. So we're going pretty deep. So it's like going to the Olive Garden. Yeah, when you're here, you're family. What's up, Willie Bowen? Yeah, Discord is free, completely free. I mean, you could pay to upgrade it, but I don't. We just go with the basic plan that doesn't cost anything. Mike, I thought you stayed in Tennessee because you like country music. Shh. That link isn't in the bio. The camera is sadly like the number 1 contenders, Chris Adonis and Tali Markova, coming into the chat with momentum and then before losing connected again. That was pretty rough, man. And here's the thing, right? Like, I didn't want to see Thrillbilly lose the title, but what are you going to do with Masters now? And Markova, too. Like, Markova hasn't won a single title opportunity that she's had. She failed to win the TV title. She failed to win the Women's World Championship. And then she failed to win the tag titles. What do you do with her now? Put her in a feud with Max over the Women's TV title? Mike, did you ever hear that joke about Dolly Parton? She says, like, one of the worst things about being her is that she's got a nice butt, too. All right. Anyways, so what did you guys think of the pay-per-view? Because our boy Jeremy, I know wasn't a big fan. Demonetized Mike said he enjoyed it, well worth his money. I know Roscoe enjoyed the pay-per-view. I'm not sure how I felt about it, and part of that is because I haven't finished it yet. I'll be honest, I didn't see the main event yet. I was still watching the tag titles, so I still need to finish watching the rest of the pay-per-view. There were some elements that I thought were good. There were some things that I thought were really bad. I can't say, we can't put that on the air, Mike, but yeah, the first match was a little wonky considering. Now, are you talking about the first match of the pay-per-view, Mike, or are you talking about the first match of the pre-show? Because that pay-per-view, that Team War was just chaotic, and I didn't like it at all. Maybe promote your shirt first. Also follow J.L.'s second YouTube channel about Lucha Libre. Lamb, you're on it today. So yeah, here's the shirt. It's currently available on our merchandise. And in fact, notice this, guys. See this mask? That's this mask, kinda. Do you see it? I mean, it's almost the same, right? So yeah, I do have another channel that focuses on Lucha Libre, and I do that in Espanol. So if you would like to check out some Lucha Libre for my adventures when I go to Tijuana or Mexico City, that's the channel, and it's Veamos Lucha Libre. I think you'll enjoy it. Mandy's here. I haven't seen Paladin in a while. What is up, Paladin? Mandy's here. What's up, Mandy? The NWA, not family friendly anymore. I did not like the drug use. Yeah, I didn't like it either. And it's... Where do you go from here? If the NWA... Okay, so the speculation is that the NWA is going to end up on the CW, right? That's kind of where the talks have been. At least from the fans' standpoint, the layman, if you will, that's where a lot of us think the NWA is going to be, is on the CW. But is the CW going to condone like drug paraphernalia? And one of those Sinisterettes, I mean, I don't have the exact timestamp, but she shows off a little bit more than I think they were supposed to. And I don't know. I just felt like there was some elements of this pay-per-view that I felt like could have been fun. I didn't care for the... I know it was a Halloween-themed pay-per-view, so you wanted to do weird things and stuff, but like I would have loved to just seen Alex Taylor and Kerry Morton take on the Headbangers. Just a straight-up tag team match. Just to test their mettle, to see if they're maybe ready for the U.S. Tag Division, which I don't know about you guys, but that's where I see them kind of... marinating to, because I don't think you're ready to put Kerry Morton in a world title picture. I don't know if that you want to put the TV title on Kerry Morton, but the U.S. tag titles seem very volatile anyways. Why not give the Southern Six another set of titles? And, you know, having the national titles and the U.S. tag titles, I think would be pretty cool. Just my personal point of view. But let me get to more of your guys' comments. Mike said the first pay-per-view match. Yeah. It wasn't that to me. That was very bad. Sinister Minister. I wasn't a huge fan of Sinister Ministers. I've never been a real Sinister Minister guy. I think it's kind of tired. Just my opinion. And hopefully this was just a one-off. We don't have an NWA style win next year. Mike says, and even the first airing of the pre-show with the Exodus belt didn't belong there. Mike, I disagree, because they were basically in the Exodus Pro backyard. They need to do something to start hyping that up locally. So it made sense to me, at least. It's LJ Callo, forget Batterio. I love it. I tried to learn Spanish and failed. That guy Shrek, I learned Spanish in high school, and I mean not even like really like not conversational Spanish, just the very, very basics. I've been doing Duolingo, and my pal Lamb has also been doing Duolingo, and we're actually learning Spanish together. I think he's a little bit more advanced than me, but it's fun because they make it like a game almost, where you're learning Spanish, and you know, you earn points, and you have records, and you sit on the higher ranking system, and it's a lot of fun, at least for me. Mandy's like, yeah, the fake coke snorting was totally lame. Yeah. Look, it's I mean, did he boot DRC out of Smashing Pumpkins because of drug use? and then they're like glamorizing it on the pay-per-view. Now, it wasn't like it wasn't obviously like the stars or the main faces of the company over there. It was a couple of guys who just lost their freedom to Sinister Minister, but the whole thing just was kind of like, well, what are we doing, guys? What's the point of this? And one of those Sinisterettes was a little too like familiar with the process for my liking. Paladin. Yeah, there was a little bit. There was a little tad bit of nudity briefly. I was kind of shocked that the camera kept going when it happened. But yeah. Have you guys seen drug skits like that in other wrestling promotions? No. Okay. Mandy. Yes, I have seen them in other wrestling promotions. I haven't seen them in national wrestling promotions. You wouldn't see Impact do that. You wouldn't see AEW do that. You certainly wouldn't see the WWE do that. And I think there's one thing about trying to push a button and get attention and get noticed. And then I think there's things that you do that are reckless and that could sabotage your brand. To me, that entire moment was something that was more akin to sabotaging your brand. I don't see how it added any value to the show. If anything, it took away from the show. I didn't watch it. It was too busy. Yeah, you were watching New Japan, which was a smart choice. Sinister Minister worked. It's Halloween after all. Yeah, and that's like I said, if this was a one-off thing, that's fine. But they're getting ready to announce a TV deal, and whoever their partner is with this TV program, something like that could murky up the whole deal. And I'm not being facetious right now. I'm serious. That kind of activity could really put a pause, a break on hey, I don't want to be associated with that. Is this something you do all the time? I mean, that too, and Billy running out and having words with Cardona, what? What are we doing here? Okay, this was the Halloween pay-per-view, but that doesn't mean that all the wheels have to come off at the same time. Chris says, hey, I'm okay with it. Finally, some edge in Billy's NWA. That's cool. You're in a very higher league as me right now, Jay. Oh, you know what, Lamb? I'm proud of you, bro. Mutual Admiration Society. That's, I think, your third language, Lamb. Or how many languages do you speak, Lamb? I speak 1.5. Dave Scooby said some good matches as well as some bad matches. Overall, for me, it got a C. And we're going to talk a lot more about Samhain tomorrow with the other Alliance guys. I'm going to join Scooby and Jeremy as we talk about what's going on with the whole pay-per-view. I don't know what kind of grade I'm going to give it. There were some matches that I really thought were great. The junior heavyweight match was a lot of fun. Talos and Daisy Kill versus the Asgard, no, the Immortals, the Gods of War is what they should have called them. Kratos and Odinson. That was a lot of fun. Palin says, let's not fool ourselves. Pal and the Gimp are slaves to Minister. They don't use that word, but they are slaves. Yes, that is true. But I don't necessarily enjoy it. In fact, I very much not enjoy it. What was the deal of sniffing segment in an NWA saw on Heeb's IG? It looked very weird segment, the talent sniffing stuff and a segment on camera. Yeah, it was just, I don't know, Lamb. It was very, it seemed out of place even on Billy's shows. That's something that I would expect to see on Game Changer Wrestling, to be quite honest. It seems to me that would be something you would see on a different program. It seemed very out of place for the NWA. And even the hosts of the show were trying to make excuses for it, which just felt weird. Nobody saw that and said, what the fuck is going on? Pardon my French, but what the heck is going on here? It just seems so crazy to me. I did not understand. You can tell who does the gimmick when they do a little too well on camera. Oops, I did that. Yeah. Mandy, you're right. I like the NWA getting edgy, just the drug stuff we can do without, that's all. Yeah, and I mean, like I said, DRC was kicked out of Smashing Pumpkins because of her drug use, and now they're kind of glamorizing it. It just seemed very awkward. a weird move for Billy. And I'm hoping maybe Billy didn't know. Maybe it was just something that Sinister Minister did on the fly, and they all just rolled with it. But it was in poor taste, if you ask me. That should have been a clip from YouTube. I don't even think it should have been there. If I would let a child watch the NWA and the child sees this stuff, big yikes. Yeah, I mean, again, they said this was going to be a edgy pay-per-view, but like, come on, that was I don't know. And you guys know me, I'm a big NWA supporter. I try to look for the good in everything that they do. I'm one of the guys that said, hey, I understand why you put the belt on tires. I'm one of the guys who said, hey, I don't mind that you take a knee during the pandemic. But some of this stuff just doesn't make sense to me. And this is one of those cases where I would have to be lying to you to tell you that I thought it was a cool segment or thought it was fun or anything like that. It was completely out of place. It doesn't fit in with the show normally. It doesn't fit in the show at any time. And I do have kids, and sometimes they do watch wrestling with me. They didn't have any interest in watching this pay-per-view, so they missed it. But like, I'd feel weird trying to explain it to them. Yeah. So anyways, I didn't like the F-bomb, and now nudity. There was kids in the audience. Yeah, I don't think the nudity was intentional, Paladin. I think it was very accidental. But there are ways to avoid things like that from happening. Mike says Billy had to show he had balls. Small, but balls after all. I had less problem with Billy's run-in with Cardona than I did the nudity or the drug use. But I also felt like Billy looked kind of complacent there. Like he ran out there very aggressive and very authoritative and then got back down like a heel would. And it's just like, well, again, clearly defined roles would help this company so much. Tell me who I should cheer for. Tell me who I should boo for. Because you got Matt Cardona over there telling me how awful Cleveland is, but then he's making points that make a lot of sense. And trying to get up a matchup that would draw money for the company. Like, that sounds great to me. And then you have Billy screaming at him and telling them to go to hell and F you. And it's just like, what's going on here? What's really happening? Mike, you speak English, Italian, some Chinese, and kayfabe. Isn't that called Kazarni? You give it a B+. I mean, that's cool, man. Like, and again, wrestling is very subjective, and I've said that since day one. What I like, you might not necessarily like, and that's totally okay. For context, my favorite style of wrestling, no doubt, no lie, was the WCW Cruiserweight division from like 1995 till about 1997, 98. You had guys like Jericho. I don't think Benoit was really in there, but Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, Psicosis, Ultimo Dragon, Dean Malenko. It was a blend of like high-flying aerial dynamic moves along with mat wrestling, a lot of kind of technical wrestling. To me, that was terrific. And a perfect wrestling show to me would look a lot like that. Now, I know that's not everyone's cup of tea, but that's what my idea of wrestling nirvana is. And you don't really get that a lot in the NWA, but you get other good stuff, like it was just a few days ago we had on Power, we had Legursky and Bradley, the Fixers, taking on Trevor Murdoch and Mike Knox. And that was a hell of a great tag team match. Very different, but very good in their own ways. There was a lot of this show that I liked. Colby Corino and Joe Alonzo did a lot more for me than I thought it would. I was very much happy with that. Watching Thrillbilly and Chris Adonis, I was very happy with that match. There was a lot of good on this show, but there was some bad too. So, I'll make sure I have a grade letter for you tomorrow. Jeremiah Plunkett says he's in. He's ready to join the Miserably Faithful. Get a little sugar booger there for you, JP. Next Tuesday, Jeremiah Plunkett will be on this show co-hosting with me. We're going to do the pre-party live, and we're going to have JP and J Cal The two J's doing the pre-party. I think it'll be a lot of fun. It's just something we're trying out to see if we can make this show a little bit more edgy. Someone said on Saturday's audio chat, tag titles is always defended on the pre-show. That person was right, and it's an effing shame. I'm okay with it. They're the U.S. tag titles. They're the secondary belts. Much like the TV tag titles, the TV title doesn't need to be defended on pay-per-view either. And I would even say that the national title doesn't necessarily need to be defended on every pay-per-view. That's okay. The world title is your focus, right? The world tag titles are your focus. The world junior heavyweight title is your focus. The world women's championship is your focus. All the secondary belts are just that, secondary. Big Rick's in the house. What's up, Rick? What was your thoughts on the show, Rick? Are we complaining about edgy stuff in the NWA? Same place where I saw people get hands smashed in car doors, people get bloody with spikes and other violence. Chris, perfect examples of stuff that I'm totally okay with. Violence is kind of expected when you say wrestling. A wrestling show, I expect violence. I don't expect narcotic use. I think there's a huge difference there, right? And I know, like, look, it's probably wasn't real blow, but with Sinister Minister, who knows, right? I don't know, but I just felt like that was weird. That didn't belong in the NWA. And we're not rewriting history, Big Chris Dog. We're not rewriting history. I've never liked the Smashing Pumpkins. I know Billy more from the NWA than his music. The Alliance blog, maybe it was the pixie dust candy something, but I mean, perhaps that's maybe would make sense why she kept pouring it on her finger and rubbing it on her gums, I guess. I mean, AEW recently had their own controversy with, the whole quarter thing, and I felt like that was tasteless too, but look, I'm not saying that any wrestling promotion is perfect, right? Everyone does things that from time to time annoy me or I don't like or I don't agree with. But until you start watching, J-Cow promotion, we're not going to ever see anything like that. So, it's just we're watching a program that someone else is writing. So we just kind of go with the flow on that. When Billy started screaming, "Go to hell" to Matt, it was weird. I kind of feel like Billy was talking to, his critics, maybe Meltzer himself. Pig Latin. All right, there we go. I think Billy was really talking. Yeah, Paladin, exactly. He was talking to his detractors. We need to be more edgy for the new TV deal. Damn it. I meant B-. Can't see the key. I got you. I got you, Mike. B-. Who gave Vince McMahon mods? Yeah, right. NWA needs to explain match stops so the live crowd knows what's up. Lots of confusion about how some matches went. People watching the pay-per-view, I guess, heard Joe and company explain the stops. Yeah. JP, I mean, whatever sells more t-shirts for you, my friend. JP, look. You're in a safe space, JP. We're all Plunkett fans in this house. We won't let anyone defame the name of Plunkett in this house. Have not had a chance to sit and watch it yet. I will hopefully get to it this week. There was a lot of good elements to it. I want to stress that. I think Danny Deals on commentary is great. I think that's the perfect spot for him to be. There's some things like seeing Rush Streaming get the victory over Brady Pierce and how that storyline played out over the last few seasons. Again, it had a conclusion, had a start, finish, and conclusion. Even if there was some interference on it, the match ended, and we got a new storyline wrapped up. So now we go on to something new. We'll see how that works out, though. Get me there. I'll be very edgy and demonetized. Yeah, I bet. There was a Meltzer dig in there, Jay. I felt like there was. Power today are the matches from the pay-per-view. In fact, the matches that they are, and I saw it earlier and I don't see it now, looks like it's going to be the women's tag team match, the surprise boxes, the Mario Kart tag team match with La Rebellion with Vampiro teaming up against the Brothers of Construction and Violent J of ICP. So there's that match, and then I think there's another one. I don't remember what match it was. Corgan hates Meltzer. He always trash talks him in interviews. He had to beg Meltzer to recognize the NWA belts, and Dave doesn't rate NWA matches. Yeah, I mean, I get that too. I think at the end of the day, you don't need to worry about Meltzer. You just need to worry about what kind of product you're putting out there. And the funny thing is no one even cared about what Meltzer thought about the NWA in the inaugural season of Power. No one was looking to see what Meltzer's thoughts were on it. You had literal superstars. I believe The Rock was the biggest to come out and say, hey, it's a great show. I think that does more for the brand than whatever Meltzer says. The NWA is kind of an anti-Meltzer promotion. And that's, again, wrestling is so subjective. You are allowed to love what you love. If you want to love the AEW style of wrestling, cool, or New Japan Strong style, cool. Or if you want to watch the King Roads and All Japan, cool. If you want to see the WWE style, cool. Lucha Libre. I mean, there's so many different varieties out there that, there is a lot of opportunity for you to find what you like. What I like about the NWA is the traditional style, the old school style. And it's different from what you'll see in the WWE, different from what you see in AEW. A lot of young talents who have never had the opportunity, a lot of talent, big name talents who were never used the right way. You get this blend, this seasoning of, superstars from yesteryear and up and comers today, and some of the guys who just never got the right shot, the right opportunity. And I think it blends to make really good stories and really good wrestling. The problem is the over the top stuff. Again, the Sinister Minister stuff. I don't need that. But it's not just what I like, it's everything. Let's see. Hopefully the Power pay-per-view matches will be a mostly pre-show. No, it seems like they're going to be straight from the pay-per-view, which again, I really don't like. And the thing about it is, and correct me if I'm wrong, because a lot of you guys watched the pre-show, it was about an hour long, right? And I think a good pre-show should be about maybe 30 minutes. And if someone would listen to me, which nobody does, and that's okay, if someone would listen to me and take the idea of like, hey, we could record this match is a dark match, and this match is a dark match, and this match is a dark match at the pay-per-view, and save those for the TV for the following Monday, and then have Billy's, review or recap of what happened. I think you have something interesting to watch on Tuesdays on Power. The way it is now, from what I understand, what we're going to see is just replay matches from the pay-per-view that if you watch the pay-per-view on Saturday, you already saw. There's no value there. No, I get it. Like, everything has a cost and opportunity and stuff like that. But again, I just don't get it. I always hear he's TK's puppet. Yeah, I mean, there's people that say that. Look, Meltzer, I think, is just a guy who likes what he likes and promotes what he likes. And if you don't like it, that's okay. But he's so certified by so many people as being the authority when it comes to wrestling recommendations and match recommendations. And again, his newsletter's been around forever. So like there is some kind of authoritative voice that comes with that. At the same time, though, again, like what I find to be awesome about wrestling, you might not find to be awesome about wrestling. So therefore, my scorecard of what is an excellent match is going to be different from what your scorecard is of an excellent match. That's all okay. It's all okay. And if you look at Meltzer's awards and Meltzer's reports and know that, like, hey, this is Meltzer's opinion. This isn't the truth, if you will. It's just what he says and what he thinks. Then you understand it's almost the same as what J. Cal says and what Demonetized Mike says. It has no real weight unless you give it weight. Sean Vega, he wants to know, where is the new Saw Wrestling? My favorite match so far would probably be Colby and why can't I think of his name? Colby and the junior heavyweight match. I'm blanking on his name right now. What is wrong with me? I'm I'm not going to move on. Colby fought. What is that kid's name? All right, I'm going to move on. CW will force Meltzer to cover NWA. Maybe. Oh, okay, they lost the building. That's a bummer. I would like to see the Sawmill kind of make a resurgence. I think in my next life, what I would really like to do is own a building that promotes wrestling, not necessarily own a wrestling company. Let someone else do all that. I just want to watch. Let's see. Oh, great. Get to see Markova lose again. I don't understand at all what the NWA is doing with her. Look, they obviously have a plan. I just don't know what it is. I think maybe at some point Markova will be women's world champion, but I think, they decided to run with to see what Kenzie could do. So who knows? The Hisa said he quit subscribing to the Observer back in the 90s. Yeah. Shrek says, bring back Jim Cornette. See, you got to understand, right? Like, Cornette has to want to come back, and he has no desire to come back to the NWA. Sean says a good pre-show wouldn't have matches. I don't mind a match or two. Like, look, if you guys look back to what the WWE used to do with their pre-shows, and obviously not WWE isn't for everyone, but back in the day, you would literally just have they would have a loop of the show on their pay-per-view channel for about a week leading up to the pay-per-view, and then the day of, you would have maybe one match that would be your buy-in match, and then the pay-per-view itself. To me, you don't need to do all that. I think just having a decent wrestling match would make sense. And, if that's where you want to put a TV title or something that doesn't quite fit into the pay-per-view, go for it. But then those other matches that are happening, why not film those and why not use those? There were matches that they didn't use from the Skyway Studios. Joe Alonzo, that was who challenged Colby Carino. That was my favorite match of the pay-per-view so far, was Colby versus Joe Alonzo. Pre-shows typically run an hour in all federations. I guess, that's fine. But again, I don't think you need to run an hour of wrestling, unadvertised wrestling matches. And there was a few of those matches that if you ran tonight on Power would carry some weight. Like the number one contenders match for the women's title, I think would have been fine to show on Power today. That would have been the match that I would have used, not put it on the pre-show and had it on today. Screw Cornette. This ain't 1985. There's a lot of people who still love corny. Chris, you gotta be understanding. Pre-show is very important. It tries to convince people to buy the pay-per-view. Sure, but you don't need to go an hour long to sell a pay-per-view. If you have to sell a pay-per-view with an hour's worth of matches, you didn't do a good job building it up the last 4 months. Or I guess not 4 months, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. Shrek, Jim Cornette is returning to the NWA. He doesn't think before he speaks. Corny the Cuck. Jeff Jarrett invited Corny to the AEW show they are having in Louisville. Yeah. Alonzo, thanks, Scooby. Dow's here. Dow says, hey, happy Halloween. Any idea what matches NWA will show today? It's like nobody covers NWA, so it's a rough roll. I know two of the matches, which is one of them will be the Women's World title match that they recorded at the pay-per-view. It's just a presentation. And then I think we're also going to get oh, now I forgot. You know what? I think there's a way to find out, and I will find out right now. Let me see. We'll find it. Let's see. So the matches for today will be, it's the Riddle Box with the Brothers of Construction and the Violent J against Vampiro and La Rebellion. We'll see the face-to-face with Matt Cardona and Billy Corgan. We're going to see the world title match between Ruthie J and Kenzie Page. And then, of course, they'll recap the rest of the pay-per-view. So, yeah. Again, I hate that because if you just paid for the pay-per-view, you hate the fact that they're giving away parts of it for free. But, what are you going to do? Chris says, I have one issue with Billy. In all your press, you mentioned Meltzer, but dude should have focused on this pay-per-view. DK, most days I don't remember what day it is. Come on. You know I don't sleep at night, so come on. I can't remember the kid's name due to the match was so memorable. Shut up, Mike. Don't be a dick. And if I can't let Markova win a tag title, like maybe she's just sitting there to job her. So Jim Cornette was not good in the NWA. Anyways, gets old. Why is my phone blowing up? Who's blowing me up right now? Oh, it's DKM's blowing me up. Thanks, DK. I know the wrestling headline site don't even update the NWA results for like months. It's lame. They barely talk about women of wrestling too. I was first to guess them going to CW. Dow, maybe, I actually had some conversations that I've on old podcasts mentioning a lot of where I thought the NWA would go, but that's neither here nor there. Corny admitted on his show that he would let wrestlers run. Oh, okay, we're not going to talk about that, Paladin. Violent J is very entertaining. If you say so. Jim Cornette, I think, was booking some of those matches when guys would win with the hip toss. I never really thought much of him. Stanley with music made Midnight Express for me. All right. I had no idea that last week was the Power finale either. Cool, I saw the live Vampiro, so figured would be on here. I hope they show the Markova Wild match eventually too. They should wait a little bit before giving slices of the pay-per-view away. Look, it's like I said, man, they have content that is in the can. I know some of those matches were filmed for probably just dark matches anyways, but I feel like you've got them. Use it. Use it. I don't care if I'm not going to see Soda Pop for a while. I don't care if I'm not going to see Devin Graves for a while. Use the match. Put it on the air. There was a really good Joe Alonzo match where he wrestled a luchador. And it was fun. It was a great match. Use it. Use it. Violent J and Shaggy from the ICP are from my hometown of Detroit, Michigan. You're down with a clown. Violent J is a great manager. New Japan also gave pay-per-view away, but hey, wait at least a month for same for AAA. Yeah, look, if I'm not saying that at some point, look, if you want to make all the content available to your entire audience, I don't have a problem with that. At some point, well, sure, because there's still value to be made on YouTube. Look, this channel exclusively is on YouTube and, well, I guess Twitch and Kick. But, I also don't offer a pay-per-view. Like, you guys don't have to pay to watch this podcast, and then I release the same podcast 3 or 4 days later for everyone else to watch for free. I think that's kind of bad business. There you go. DK finally says something that makes a lot of sense. I enjoyed Jim Cornette, but he's not going to make Billy's booking any better nor any worse. Look, what benefited the NWA in its first couple of years with Billy Corgan was that he had Dave Lagana, Dave Marquez to bounce stuff off of, and they made things work that didn't necessarily make sense. But it is what it is, and right now I'm kind of excited where the direction of the show has been going. Did I like the pay-per-view? Not as much as some of you guys, but I also, there have been worse, a lot worse. It doesn't matter. Corny blackballed himself. Yeah, kinda. Hello. How are you doing today? What are your thoughts on Samhain on Saturday? I do like Natalia Markova in that Harley Quinn cosplay. She's not an awesome wrestler, but an awesome cosplayer too. Isn't that like the second pay-per-view she cosplayed? Because I think she did at the 75th. The Sabu figure, Dow. This was from Pint Size All Stars. It's part of the whole pro wrestling loot thing, and that's where I got mine. I actually bought it at the show. I have a Sabu somewhere. I also have a Harley Race, and I think like a somebody else too. I can't think of right now. I think that they're building the show around Pretty Empowered. Billy needs to lock those girls down as bigger companies are going to be looking at them. Yeah, and I definitely feel like that's there was a scene there where you had the Southern Six and the Pretty Empowered all lined up, and I'm like, well, there's the future of the company right there. Like every one of those people should be locked down to a contract because they have the riz, if you so to speak, they have the riz to kind of drive the company into the future. I mean, look, right now, one of the best promo guys in the company is Thrill-Billy, and Ella Envy's great on the mic. They are great at the women's division is better with Pretty Empower in it. You know, the Southern Six haven't really hit their stride yet, but you know, Thrill-Billy as national champion working his way to the world title, and if we can get somehow Alex and Carrie in on some more championship gold, like, look, who knows? Maybe down the road we see the TV title on Carrie Morton and see the junior heavyweight title on AT. But I really feel like it's starting to get good in the NWA, and they have this good mix where we're using young, talented athletes, you know, great promos, and this is coming from that youth movement. But then you also have, you know, in the upper card of the main event, you have guys like EC3 who's looking for that chance to finally become the version of who he's supposed to be, right? You have the same thing with Adonis. Adonis has never had a serious world title push in any company he's been in before. You know, probably won't have it now, but you know, he's had a few opportunities in the past to get that opportunity. We saw for like the first time in a long time, Tom Latimer get a shot at the world title. And then you have Matt Cardona, who, again, I'm not a huge Matt Cardona fan, but, you know, Billy did speak some truth there. That guy is a draw for them. He does pop an audience. So, like, to me, it's like, it's kind of, you got this awesome dynamic of up and comers and people who are you know, people who were discovered by the NWA and some people who are getting second opportunities to make their name in the NWA. And I think that's very cool. And that's how a lot of how the NWA to me is different than what you see in AEW or WWE. Which NWA wrestler do you like going onto other big promotions? So I think right now we just talked about the youth movement. At some point, you know, unless Billy locks them up long term, all six of those wrestlers, I think, could go on to bigger and better if Billy doesn't lock them up. And Kerry Morton is really good at generating heat. I'm not going to say that he's the next big thing in pro wrestling, but you know, if he keeps working at it, works on his body, you know, they're all young. They're all like, with the exception of Thrill-Billy, they're all like, you know, 26, 25, 21. You know, they're all young kids in the business. And if given these opportunities, they continue to grow with the NWA. Of course, AEW is going to look at them. Of course, the WWE is going to look at them. You got to give them reasons to get locked up and keep them in the NWA for long term. Because if this promotion is going to go somewhere, they're going to keep needing to restock the farm, if you will. And that's part of the reason why the territory ideas make a lot of sense, because it's almost like they have a scouting department right there in every little territory they set up. Paladin says, the women really are the stars of the NWA for me. I like them a lot more. Willie Bowen, second time WWE has wasted green. Okay. WWE is a cesspool. Starting to remind me of the knockouts for TNA, and that's not a bad thing. Coward Cardona does not deserve a shot at the 10 pounds of gold. I don't agree. I don't disagree with you, Willie. I'm not a big Cardona guy either. But the fact of the matter is, if you are ending up on a network program, you're going to want as many stars as you have available to bring people into the show. So a guy like Cardona does carry a lot of value for Billy and the rest of the NWA if they can make it work. You know, if you showcase Cardona in the right way and let him get a rub and let him be in the spotlight. I'm not necessarily saying put the title on him, but you know, an advertised match between EC3 and Matt Cardona would be a great way to kick off whatever network they're going to end up on. The real Billy reminds me a bit of Mike Awesome with that mullet. I don't think Corgan is trying to lock anybody up, really. He just grabs the new crop, keeping his costs down, too. Well, I mean, look, he's not under any obligation to sign people up for contracts. Most of the talent are there on a handshake, you know. you know, when some of the NWA talent are used on other promotions, they'll throw up the NWA logo because those people are under NWA contract. Joe Alonzo, Misa Kate, Thrillbilly, Kerry Morton, all of them are under NWA contract. So I would imagine that, keeping them under NWA contract is a good idea because that's the future of the company. People seem to forget Cardona lost to Tyrus for the world title already. Sure, he was never beaten for the title. I think that's his point of contention. He never lost the title. He lost an opportunity to regain the title. Markova should stay with the NWA. To hell with the WWE and AEW. But Billy can afford to lock all his talent down. And can he? You got to remember, Billy Corgan isn't a multi-billionaire like Tony Khan and like Vince McMahon before they were sold to Endeavor. Like, it's not a multi-billion-dollar company. It's a multi-million-dollar man. One guy. He has no partners in the NWA. The NWA is just literally Billy Corgan. So at the end of the day, you got to wonder, like, how much is he willing to risk? How much is he willing to lose? Sorry. Got it. Markova, if she went to AEW, would possibly be the next Taya. TK basically only uses WWE cast-offs. I don't know if that's true, Steve G. There's a lot of talent that have never been in the WWE that are stars in AEW. The Young Bucks, I mean, Kenny Omega, you could argue, was in development with Deep South Wrestling, but that was years ago. A lot of the roster had never stepped into a WWE ring. Orange Cassidy, the Lucha Brothers. There's a lot of non-WWE guys on that roster. Talent choose AEW over WWE. Saraya and Tony Storm being a couple. How much could somebody in the NWA make? Like $100K? Maybe as Joe Galli is there full time. Maybe a few others. Guys in WWE make like 7 figures. Yeah, I mean, look, you can't. You're comparing apples to oranges here. With all the respect and admiration in the world for Joe Galli, he is not as accomplished as someone like Michael Cole, right? Or Jim Ross, or Tony Schiavone, or Taz, or any one of the announcers. So of course. And the company's much smaller too. And, you look at a guy like Brian Cage, who dominated AAA, dominated Lucha Underground, dominated Impact Wrestling, got to AEW, they don't know how to use him. Would it be better if he was in WWE? Maybe. But if he was in the NWA, he'd probably be the star of the show, right? And sometimes you want to be the big fish in a small pond just to get yourself over. Eli Drake got himself over in Impact. He was over in the NWA, and it took a while, but now he's starting to climb to the top of being over in the WWE as LA Knight. So I really feel like it changes. Well, Lucha Brothers were on Lucha Underground, I think, but Orange Cassidy mostly didn't. Well, you said WWE cast-offs, Dow, and I'm saying these guys weren't WWE cast-offs. A lot of those guys came from Impact. Wording is everything, my friend. CM Punk is an arsehole. He's all hype, no wrestling talent. I disagree, Willie. I would be happy to take CM Punk on the roster. I have no problem with that whatsoever. I hope he ends up in Impact or TNA Wrestling. It's such a weird thing. And not everyone can be a top star. Exactly, DK. The thing is, you need some wrestlers to literally their whole role is to put other people over. That's jobbers, anyone? Not everyone's going to be on the top of the card, and that's okay. Everyone has a job, though. Thoughts on Nick Aldis going to WWE as a TV talent? Paladin, you haven't been here in a while, but the thing about for a sense of you do what's best for your family, I think that was a very smart move for Nick Aldis to take the opportunity to join the WWE as a SmackDown general manager. He's not going to take any bumps. He's going to make more money working for the WWE than he did with the NWA. It just is what it is. And it's going to give him the opportunity to, well, if he wants to wrestle down the road, it gives him a door into the WWE. If maybe they want to use him as a wrestler down the road, have him transition from GM to wrestler. The guy's only 36 years old. Subsequently, it's also kind of funny to me that the Raw general manager is kind of a friend of mine. The SmackDown general manager thinks I'm an asshole, so it's pretty funny. Let's see. DK doesn't like him as a GM. I don't like. I'm indifferent towards it. It seems like I don't understand why you want to be confrontational. I don't know why that's the thing that you want to do. Like if I'm the general manager of SmackDown, I don't want to fight with the Raw GM. I want to, hey, let's put on the best show we can so that we both get raises. Let's see. Some people in life are great as enhancement, and that's fine. They still make money. Exactly. Natalia Markova can make her own choices, Willie Bowen, because Natalia is a star. As much as I enjoy her in the NWA, Billy Corgan didn't even put the belt on her since coming to the NWA. Well, I mean, maybe he feels like she's not ready yet. Maybe what you're seeing is something that he doesn't see. Again, like we all would have put the belt on LA Knight, Eli Drake, Sean Ricker when he was in the NWA. At the very least, we would have put a feud between him and Nick Aldis. They never pulled the trigger on that. I'm one of the guys that would love to see Jack Stain get another run with the 10 pounds of gold. That'll probably never happen. He has the pedigree, but Billy dictates who's going to be champion. Anything anyone does or says can change his mind. And obviously, he's a big fan of Markova. He invited her to his wedding. She was on the road with him for the World is a Vampire tour, not just in Australia, but in Mexico. And she was also on some of those shows before the World is a Vampire tour. So, yeah. Let's see. That's a good point. Dow says Markova can get over without a title like Roddy Piper. So many don't think you put a belt on somebody unless they need it to get over. Yeah, that's very true, Dow. And look, there's a lot of guys. $1 Million Man never held a world championship, a singles title. Roddy Piper never held it. Arn Anderson never held a singles world title. Doesn't mean that they didn't play a terrific role in the companies that they wrestled for. They never even put the WWE World title on Harley Race when he came in. They called him the King of Wrestling and never gave him an opportunity to run with the World Heavyweight Championship. So it's just about perception too. But that's going to wrap it up, guys. I hope you have a happy Halloween. For those of you who missed it before, I'll replay it right now. Your boy J Cow's Halloween costume is...
Hey kids, it's me, Kim Chi. And if you don't have a happy Halloween, I'm gonna send Kamala after you. Ha 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 ha! Happy Halloween!
I don't know why I went with the Santa voice on that, but I thought it was funny. I hope you guys have a good night tonight. If you're going out trick-or-treating, be safe. If you're going out with your kids, be safe. If you're just going out and having a good time, have fun, be safe. We'll catch you all again on Wednesday, tomorrow, with the other Alliance guys. I'll be on with Dave Scooby and Jeremy, and they're going to be talking about the pay-per-view, and I'll be adding in my 2 cents when it's available. But until next time, guys, appreciate you being here, and we'll see you at the matches. Thanks for checking out the Pre-Party, a presentation of Alliance-Wrestling.com. You should hit that subscribe button and join our community. I also want to remind you that we recap NWA POWERRR every Thursday at 8 p.m. in the live stream. We try to stay social, so find us at the Alliance blog. And until